What's good, everyone? This is Jabron at the Keyed Up Podcast. I got a very special guest, DAX, joining me today, man. Thank you so much.
Oh man, first and foremost, it's your boy Dax, and we back at it like a bad habit. If you want something, better go grab it today, baby. We finna make a big play.
Let's go, man. What an intro. We've seen you grow on YouTube, develop into, a superstar, delivering real rap and hip hop to the masses. So, man, I just first want to tell you that, you're just, I've been following you for the past couple years, seeing you grow and things like that. And I got to say, man, one of the best rappers I've ever discovered myself. And I'm into a lot of rap, hip hop, from, going back to the greats to now. And I always look into lyricism and being creative, and you deliver all those different points. So, man, it's an honor to have you in the podcast. And, man, really appreciate you joining me today. And first, man, I just want to start off, like, how you been this year?
Man, I've been good, man. I've just been working, staying out the way, working out, writing music, writing rhymes, and just filming music videos, man, and just sort of trying to live in the moment and enjoy life every day.
Yeah, man, that's how you do it. It's interesting too, because you as an artist, you're always doing something, like, keeping consistent to your work ethic, and things like that. And it's challenging sometimes, I guess. Like I'm a drummer myself and played with a bunch of bands, toured all over, and it's a challenge for artists to keep consistent, and things like that. And you're always keeping consistent, talking with fans. I see you talking with fans all the time on like social media and releasing music, doing covers and things like that. So yeah, man, that's really cool to see you starting this year off, being, consistent and, motivated to keep killing it and things like that. But let's go back for a little bit. Like, you used to be, a janitor and things like that in the past, but this was not that long ago, and you've just developed into your own artist brand and things like that. But tell me, like, how you got into, rapping, and when did it all start?
So it all started, I would say, when I was 11 years old. That's not when I started rapping, but that's when the journey of like self-actualization started. When I was 11 years old, I found the law of attraction. It was called like The Key on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that was when I realized that, you have control over your life based on your thoughts and then your work that goes into those thoughts. So at the age of, 11 years old, I made the decision that I wanted to be a basketball player. I wanted to play in the NBA. So then that spiraled into a 10-year process that self-actualizing to me finally playing Division I basketball. So once I was 8
years old,
I went to Canada, because I wanted to, I was trying to play college basketball the whole time. I didn't want to play Canadian college basketball. I went to prep school for a year, Sunrise Christian Academy. I was there with actually Buddy Hield. He plays for the Sacramento Kings. He was a year older than me, so he graduated. He was like my person who showed me around. Then I went, this is like the quick story of all that whole thing.
Yeah.
Then I went to Casper College, junior college for 1 year. They gave me the last scholarship because the person they gave it to was a kid from Mexico, but he had already played pro, so I got the last scholarship. Then I was one of two people from there to go to Division I at the University of Montana. Once I got there was a coaching change. Tinkle went to Oregon State. Coach DeKira came in. By the end of that year, they told me not to come back. I ended up going back to Wichita, Kansas, where I went and played prep school. And I ended up going to Newman University with Coach Potter. Amazing man, does a lot of talking now for mental health.
Oh, wow.
And
yeah.
My junior year there, I just come from Division I, full scholarship. It was still a full scholarship at Division II. But it was just like, everything's different. It was a small private Catholic college, 1,000 kids, really small. So I needed money. And I became an overnight janitor on campus. So I did that for 2.5 years, and they put me in Dame Matias Hall, which was like the arts department. So, I was always around, different poetry events and all these plays and stuff like that. So halfway through junior year was when I started working that. On the way to a game in around like March or something like that, we went to go play Arkansas Fort Smith. And I was on the bus, I was listening to a song, and it inspired me to try and rap. Like, like growing up, I'd always been like, I'd freestyle and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People say, oh, you're pretty good, but I never wanted to rap because I just didn't see myself having a lane and something that was more centric on like the inner cities and stuff like that. Like I was, I grew up in Ottawa, like downtown. Ottawa, Canada's different than America. So, you can't even compare Ottawa to like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I wrote a poem instead of writing a rap, tried to write a rap. It wasn't me at all. I wrote a spoken word poem, showed it to my teammate, and he was like, yo, you wrote that? I'm like, yeah, man. And he was like, that's crazy, bro. So from that point on, I was like, you know what? This is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. Sure. Basketball was extremely hard, but the poetry came so naturally with the words. So then that spiraled into me like doing motivational speaking, poetry, and I wanted to be like the biggest poetry guy in the world. And then eventually it just ended up turning into music because that had more replay value. So like about a year after I started writing the poetry stuff, I started making songs.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Because, you mentioned, when you were working at the college, like doing the janitor job, like you were around theater and things like that and arts. Like, and I felt like whenever I watch your music videos, there's a lot of theatrical aspects you put into it. So did that ever inspire that, or you're just kind of thinking of the theme of the song and things
I think I've always been like really good with words and like theatrical with like the way I express things. But I was like the basketball player. I was like the best player in my city. I played Division I, so it was just like I thought that stuff was like like not cool. So I just never really did it more. But once like I wrote home, I was just like, you know what, like this comes so naturally. And I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. And by that time, like, the NBA was like a far shot. I was playing D2. I was leading the league in scoring, but like, I wasn't going to get drafted. I didn't want to go play overseas. So I just, took it.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. Cause you always, it's interesting when you get like specific reasons, like your basketball teammate telling you like, yo, you gotta get into this, and it just like sparks a moment. It's like, all right, maybe I'm meant to do this,
Exactly.
Or you have a dream about something and it gives you a signal that you should call that person or take action on something. So yeah, that's super interesting and really cool, man. And hey, man, I felt like you took the right route. I mean,
For sure.
I even, funny enough, I played not like on your level of basketball, but when like high school, middle school, I was playing basketball, and then discovered drums in fourth, fifth grade, and kind of knew that I wanted to get into music after that, and even had dreams, going on tour and stuff like that. And then by college, I was on tour with Imagine Dragons and
Wow.
shit. It was really crazy.
They're lit.
Definitely. That's amazing, man. So I've been jamming, you just dropped that Still Dre remix and things like that. It's super fire. You mentioned a lot of greats and things like that. And I feel like you got the rhythm of, like making raps on like hot beats, basically, like from Dre songs to Eminem songs. So are those kind of artists your inspirations?
Yeah, I think so. Like for me, like I grew up a basketball guy, so for my initial inspirations were Kobe and Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
And music to me was always just the background to workouts. I was never like inclined. It was more like what was on the radio. But once I became super interested in now poetry and then which ended up turning into rap, I started to see, like I'm always like, okay, who's the greatest and the best at what they do?
Mm-hmm.
So you start listening to more of those things and becoming inspired by what they've done. So I think I would definitely say, yeah, I've been inspired by the greats, to also, pave my own path. So
yeah, that's amazing, man. I mean, that was definitely handed down to me from my brother and sister. They're a little older than me, and they were listening to Eminem, Dre 2001, which is one of my favorite hip hop albums ever. And just kind of getting influenced by that. So that's really cool. And I noticed in some of your earlier, specifically like the beats you did on like Eminem songs, you always tell them to hit you up. So I thought that was interesting. So like, Is that like a goal of yours to like, you know, start at least getting recognized by Eminem? And if he was watching this, what would one thing you would tell him? Let's say if he joined the call right now, what would be one thing you would tell Eminem?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to, make a song with Eminem. That's, one of the greatest rappers ever. Like that's my goal is like to work with the best. I think if that's not your goal, then what are you even doing it for? You know what I mean? Obviously, other than the fact that like my more main music is like impact music, like the Dear Gods and the Book of Revelations.
Yeah.
But like inspired by becoming better at crafting words and getting better with the bars and all that stuff like that. So yeah, and if I had to say one thing, it's a tough question. Um, Say, man, what you've done is gonna live forever, and that's an insane feat to accomplish. You know,
Yeah.
one thing that inspired me when I first began this music. Like I used to just think about like it's crazy how back in like the ancient like you talk about Egypt and all these things, these people would mummify themselves in hopes to live forever.
Yeah.
So one of the main goals I wrote down when I started making music was I want to put something into the world that will last forever. And there's very few humans on this planet that's been spanning for millions of years that have had the opportunity to do that. So I think to achieve something like that's amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's definitely a good thing. That'll be a cool thing to say. And yeah, man, just like the way you deliver everything you do artist wise to me, I'm like, man, I keep showing people like, yo, check out Dax, check out this dude. Oh yeah, I've heard of him. You know, I've been following his stuff, or yeah, I'll definitely check it out. This is new and refreshing. Like going to like the definition of hip hop or hip hop and rap, like what is it to you? Like what is hip hop? What is rap to you?
I mean, rap is rhyme and poetry to me. Hip hop is telling your story authentically. That's what it is to me. Like people always ask me about like obviously I make rhymes about certain things, but I respect anybody who tells their story authentically, and everybody's story is different. I think when you're staying true to yourself and you find creative ways to create music within yourself, that's hip hop. Obviously, we know where hip hop generated from, but it's expanded, and there's times of like there's great street hip hop, there's great conscious hip hop, there's great hip hop for societal issues. So I think hip hop is really just staying true to yourself and creating music within that. And I think people can, smell authenticity. And then yeah, rap, rhyme, and poetry, man, putting things together, and then also being able to tell the stories
Mm-hmm.
of the past. It's like back in like the days, the only way to pass on stories was the elders would sit in one spot, and then all the people would come, and the elders would pass on the stories of what happened in the past. Because there was no books, there was no they write it on walls like they used to do. So I think also hip hop and rap is being able to tell stories. So when people 100 years come back and listen to DAX, they'll get a depiction of what it was like during those times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely, man. That's definitely a good point. I mean, going to yeah, you were saying, back in the day too, like when things started out in hip hop, there's not much technology and things like that. But there's like pros and cons, right? Like how do you think how has how has the cell phone or the smartphone changed like the specific genre of hip hop?
how has the cell phone changed specific genres of hip hop? It's allowed a large group of people who may not necessarily understand the culture or what goes into it to sway the opinions of millions of people, which is what I think has been a little bit detrimental. Like hip hop it's the reason why hip hop is obviously, besides the greatness of it, is such a big thing is because it's the most like there's the most news and stories within hip hop, which is predominantly led by Black culture.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's the easiest to. It's like you see hundreds of hip hop Instagram pages, hundreds of hip hop, on every single platform. But it's not like that for other genres. There isn't a bunch of pop or country Instagram pages.
Yeah.
Even though it's a huge genre, there's just not a lot of news within those things to highly publicize it like that.
Yeah.
So there's so many people weighing in on hip hop online that don't even necessarily know what goes into it.
Yeah.
The phone has really allowed everybody to have an opinion. So, yeah, whether it's positive or negative,
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely interesting. So going to that, the con part of it, like, um, like the state of rap and hip hop now, like there's great artists like you from, Tech Nine, who you went on tour with, correct?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was my
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. So I actually finally saw him for the first time like I live here in New Orleans. So I saw him for the first time, a couple months ago on a strange music tour. Yeah, it's super good show. Um, but yeah, going to that, like, there's still good lyricists, and rappers out there. What do you think of, like, I guess, like, just like mumble rap stuff, and just in general, because like you mentioned earlier, like it's given a wider range for more people to discover rap and hip hop. But do you
Yeah.
think a lot of new age rappers like don't really understand a lot of, like, lyricism, songwriting, and kind of just applying those aspects to hip hop?
I think music is subjective.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not big on like speaking my feelings about other things that don't involve me as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think like it's if you're doing what you're doing and you're doing it in a creative, dope way, music is what it is. I mean, Beethoven and these guys used to make 2-hour songs. I think
Yeah.
hip hop music has no structure. It's different. I just think there needs to be space for everything. There needs to be like space for guys like me and space for guys like that, and both should be equally, pushed to the masses.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that's a great point, because it's just like, hey man, if you're doing well at it, keep doing it. I feel like that's a real musician, just like,
I'm never gonna say anything to try to take food out of another man's mouth who's feeding his family. That's just not my mo.
yeah.
So if you're killing, you're feeding your family, like go ahead and do it. I think it's more on the people who play a role in advertising what goes on in like especially being an independent artist. Just like it'd be nice if there was equal space for both parties to coexist, because everyone can coexist and be successful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a great point. And leading to the next question, you're independent, which is super dope, because you're doing more than some major label artists, on your own. So basically, like, being independent, um, do you, do you like manage everything yourself, or do you have some others help you, when it comes to like the production side, marketing, and things like that?
yeah, I have a manager. B,
Okay.
she's dope. We've been working together for like I've known her for like since I pretty much started. So that's always nice. And then I work with pretty much the same producer. His name's Lex Noor. He's from Ottawa, just like me. So it's a Canadian connection right there. And then also another guy, he's out in LA named Eric. He's engineered a lot of my stuff as well. So it's a really small operation in terms of like the marketing, my social media. I do all that shit myself. I would never let anyone touch my social media or any of my stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then yeah, B's killing it on her end, managing me, and so yeah, it's a really small operation.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So going to that, would you, in the long term, would you even need a label, or would you like just want to stick independent and keep just building the brand yourself?
My thing is like I would love to come to an agreement with someone that's gonna help me move my music to the masses.
Yeah.
Like me, I'm not someone who's motivated by business or who's motivated by money. Like I could give a flying, like I really don't care.
Yeah.
Like as long as I'm financially stable and I'm able to not think about how much gas is when I pull up, or what the bill is when I go get grocery, like I'm cool and I can just make my videos. But I want my music to be worldwide, because I think it deserves to be. I think the world deserves to hear the Dear Gods and the Book of Revelations and the Jokers and the Dear Moms and all this crazy shit I make. So eventually, I would love to, be able to, set up a good situation where I can put my music on a world stage, most definitely.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I first started. I think I first discovered you when you did the Hit 'Em Up cover And I was like, damn, dude, this is really dope. And then I saw you, kept dropping stuff. And then it was 2020 when you put Joker out. And I was like, once I saw a music video too, I was like, man, you put a lot of effort into your videos, like just like high production and things like that. And it's just very unique. And this storyline too, like I can show this to someone who maybe likes some hip hop or so, or I'll show it to them. They'll be like, all right, they can understand your lyrics too, like it's like a storyline, that's like what a true MC is. So going to your latest album though, Pain, Paints, and Paintings, you have a lot of dope features, like Snow the Product, who's really awesome. Been definitely following her for a while. So what inspired that album? Did it just like come up bit by
Pain.
bit? Yeah. Yeah.
Like crazy because I was tweeting Pain Paints Painting for a couple years before I ever knew it was gonna be my album. Just like when I would like go through different things and it would create a song, I would just tweet Pain Paints Paintings. So yeah, what inspired that project is just like pain and then using, the anger to create art.
Yeah. Yeah, it's dope, man. I mean, the whole album has so many different types of styles too. You got like the intro, that just hits, slaps you right in the face when you start listening to the beginning of the album, and then you have some soft ones, some great features. Yeah, I love the album, man. I've been jamming it, and looking forward to whatever you come out with, and things like that. So going to like the like the songwriting structure and things like that. I know you've poetry and things like that. So do you kind of apply that aspect in your songwriting, or do you wake up in the middle of the night and just like think of shit, or how does that kind of workflow, happen?
Naturally, man. I don't know. Like sometimes I really like sit there and after a song, then I'll be like, God damn, man. Like it just, the beats played, I start writing, and then it's just one flow stream of thought, and it'll go from the beginning to the end. It's like, I always tell people, like, to me, the music creation is the easiest part of everything.
Yeah.
It's everything else. Like, I'm so many songs ahead, that like anything I make, anytime I step in the studio now, it's literally me just like making extra shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm so just far ahead and I got all these crazy songs. So I just sit there, I listen to the beat and I start writing. And then I just perform to the abilities my brain allows me to.
Yeah, that's badass, man. Because it's like there's that saying of songwriter's block, but I feel like you don't have that. You just like, boom, everything comes out. Dude, to think about it too, like, you have so many lyrics you spit out, and sometimes like in shorter songs. Like, I gotta ask, like, how do you even do you remember that stuff? Like, I always think of like, because I'm a drummer and I've worked with singers and different, like, I've played drums for rappers and stuff. I always wonder, like, how do you remember all that? Of course you're writing it and things like that, but I just, like, how do you basically, keep that engraved in your head? I guess it's just like rehearsing it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about me is like I'm the only person I listen to. Like the only person only pretty much, because I got just so many songs I pretty much listen to my music exclusively. Besides, like, if I'm working with someone, I'll start listening to theirs a little bit. Or growing up, my favorite artist was always Drake. So it's like on my Spotify Wrapped, it's like me, then Drake, then like I think my Trippie Redd, because we had a song.
Yeah.
I'm always listening to my shit, so I'm always memorizing it. That probably plays a role.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
It's like when you're not conscious, you're memorizing. So if you're just always listening to shit, and then I write a lot of my songs while I'm driving. So it's like I'm constantly listening to the song or where I'm at, and then I restart the whole song, and then I like try to write the words while I'm just like there. So I think that probably plays a role in memorizing it. Other than that, I just do it, I guess.
Yeah, that's interesting. You mentioned driving, because I feel like, because I've produced beats and things like that, and I always go on drives. I don't know what it is, but it's just like when you're just observing things, you're watching someone, crossing the street, when you're at a red light. I don't know what happens, but there must be some magical spark in our musician minds that just like inspires
Yeah.
us to start writing or something.
I shower and they say if you stare at fire,
Yeah, I could
it
see that.
it opens. I've never tried it because I don't own a fireplace, but apparently like looking at fire is a great way to be inspired.
Yeah. We'll
So
next time if we meet in person next time, we'll I got a fireplace, or we'll find a fire somewhere, bonfire, and do a bonfire sessions. And
in Wyoming and Montana, we used to do bonfires and shit. It was fun.
yeah, it's definitely, yeah, it's funny because I always, whenever I do look at fire, I go into deep thinking, like whatever. It's crazy. It's interesting. What is, I guess, from an artist standpoint, what is success for you? Like, what is success to you?
Um, what is success to me? I mean, I'm a guy that's never complacent. I got tatted on my arm. Mediocrity is a result of complacency. Success to me, success to me. I mean, a cliche, be happy. I mean, well, fuck that.
Yeah.
You know?
Just be happy.
Take care of the family, all that great stuff that sounds great on paper is success, obviously. But also in terms of like music, like I want everyone in the world to hear my songs. I think I truly believe that if like my shit was played everywhere, the world would be a different place.
Yeah.
Like people hearing the Dear Moms, I can go on, Gotham's, all these crazy songs. I think like there would be a shift in the way the world is based on, the messages I'm getting every day and the comments I'm reading and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's success to me, is just having everyone in the world hear the music. That would be success.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like even going like Joker, Dear God, all those, those big hits you've had. Like, even when I go to your page, you see, comments or in your YouTube, like, yeah, this changed my life, or this made my day, and things like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're a strong advocate for, like talking about real shit people deal with, like just from like relationships to social issues to mental health. So have you always been an advocate for that, or it just happens to be that you're feeling that certain way and you're putting in the song?
Yeah, I've just always been like a real, person. Like I tell people, like I never ever thought I was going to do this. Like this was never my goal in life, So it's like I lived 22 years of life that were just completely never wanting to be, famous, a music artist or anything. So by the time I got to this career, I had been through 22 years of life with experiences that weren't influenced by the thought of wanting to be famous or a music artist, So you see, like my music is just based off of that, just the a realness of life, I guess. So it's like I can't even like whenever I like make a song, I couldn't even make it about something else, even if I tried. It just whatever comes, like it just And I used to go on, like when I was before I even started this, I used to go on mental health walks at school. I would just like walk to the mall, and I called it my mental health walk because I just like felt walking helped my mental health.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're right. I mean, it's funny. I work for a tech company, and our boss told us all of our goals this year is to go on nature walks. Just like go out, refresh your head, So that's definitely crucial. A lot of, especially from an artist standpoint, they'll just like run out of gas because they're in the studio for like 5 days in a row, like 24/7. Just like, even going to Eminem, apparently he does. He works in the studio like a 9 to 5. Like literally at 5 p.m. he just like clocks out. It's like, I'm out for the day. I'm gonna continue this tomorrow. It's pretty crazy.
I never invest myself inside of the studio. As soon as like I can't think of a bar, I literally just like go back to my bed. Like I don't I don't force anything when it comes
Yeah.
to music, you know, because it just hurts. It hurts your brain, you know.
Yeah. 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 And then you just get more frustrated and you're like, all right, now I'm getting stressed. Gotta take a damn
Yeah.
break.
There's
Yeah.
been periods where I don't really once, you know, like I just don't,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure,
you
man.
know.
Yeah,
So
it's always good to take a refresher, you know. Even, you know, just like in a sports game, you have halftime to take a break, refresh, refocus on what you're doing. And, you know, it's that same thing in the artist world for sure. Um, Goals for this year, or I guess you can say a goal, maybe like the top 3 goals you want to accomplish as an artist um, this year. What you got?
top 3 goals, man. I would love to be on the radio. You know, I got some really like good songs that are like not even for like hip hop. Like my favorite songs I've made are like the My Heart Hurts and the My Eyes Bleed where I'm singing. You know, like I would love to hear some of these songs that I've made that are like really global on the radio. I would love to. I want to do more interviews and things. I haven't really been doing them the past 2 years. Um, and I got a lot of goals. I wrote them down. I want to go to church more consistently. I want to fucking. I'm trying to start stretching more.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
a
need to
bunch of them.
stretch more.
Yeah.
Shit.
Drink more. Less tequila.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
gotta.
I tell you, here in New Orleans, man, it's easy to get caught into the party scenes because I'm like
Yeah.
5 minutes from downtown. You know, I don't know if you've been in New Orleans, but we have
Oh,
there's the French Quarter area, and actually the French Quarter area in New Orleans has the most restaurants in the U.S.
wow.
Like bars and restaurants. So yeah, it's really easy to just like go out every
Yeah.
weekend. I'm like, no, man, I'm gonna start working out again more this year, and you know, changing that up.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Tour wise, so I know you've done a couple tours and
Yeah.
things like that. What would be some places on your list, you know, to go on tour, and maybe some artists that you want to go on tour with?
Um, places. Obviously, I've already done the American tours. I'm just going to continue to do those. Obviously, I would love to go to places like South Africa, Nigeria, um, Zambia, Liberia, South Sudan, um, Kenya, um, Philippines,
Nice.
Togo, Ghana. Um, there's a bunch of others.
Yeah.
I want to go back to K, stuff like that. And then in terms of going on tour, people, that's not really the way I think. Like I like touring by myself and building it up step by
Yeah.
step. And just I like the process. I like the grind. I like, you know, I don't really. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely, man. Yeah. I feel like you already. Yeah. But hopefully, you come to New Orleans, man. I'll definitely be here. You know, to see you live. Um, or I'll be at the show because I feel like you would help. Yeah, just some of those artists just like don't necessarily need to go on tour with a bunch of big ones. Like they can just, like you said, just build their own kind of.
Yeah, like I tour with
Yeah,
Tech Nine already. That's independent tour ever. So it's like, you know, that was like a crash course. That was my first time ever like performing.
oh wow,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? It was like, so I don't really know like who else you go on tour with after that, unless you're like going on tour with like, I don't know, some huge,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Some stadium tour. um,
So,
yeah, that's a yeah. Touring's fun, man. People don't realize like they think like you know the backstage of a tour, of the backstage on tour is like Motley Crue or something, like popping bottles and stuff all the time. I was like, man, there's a lot of people.
oh,
There's a lot of napping and
I'm military, man. Like I work out before every show. I don't party after shows. I go back to my room and eat my rice. Like it's
yeah,
like I don't do none of that, you know, none of that stuff. It's like because I want to be able to do it for a long period of time,
yeah,
and that stuff just down. That's like sort of what those are the types of things I picked up on the Tech Nine tour, seeing how they do it and things like that, you know. So And I'm a consistent guy. I like to stay consistent. So yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a great point. I always like there's always newer artists that ask advice, or with me like, hey, what are some tips to go on tour? I was like, treat it like a job, like work
Yeah.
out, eat healthy. Like the worst thing you do is like eating Long John Silver's. Like one time I didn't eat it, but my tour mates did, and they got so sick. I was like, I told you guys not to eat that. Like we had sandwiches in the cooler, make your own sandwich, have some fruit and shit like that. Do not eat Denny's all the time or crazy food that would just make you like, and you lose energy too. But yeah, those are definitely some good points. New music this year, anything you're working on right now? I mean, I know you just dropped the Still Dre remix, but is there like kind of new album in the works, or are you just kind of planning it out?
Like I'm about to go off with some bars for a little bit. I feel like the album was so deep and all these things like that. It's annoying to drop an album independently, by the way. It sucks,
Yeah.
But I don't even know when the next time I'm ever gonna drop an album unless it's with like a major label or some shit. Because
Sure.
I let the type of shit I make go undervalued, So I still got to drop this year. I got to drop the music videos for a lot of my album. And then I'm just trying to, I'm trying to out rap myself. I'm trying to just go hard, but then also make a lot of impactful stuff. And might try something that's a new genre. I might drop a country song. I don't know.
Country rap, Kid Rock feature. No, I'm just kidding. But
yeah, it's a good year.
Yeah, man. I feel like it's gonna be a really good year for you, man. We're all rooting for you over here, and across the world, and I can see you getting higher ground. And like going back to the independent thing, like what are kind of like, because that you're always like an independent, like you're competing with labels. Labels are doing deals with Spotify now. They're buying curators on Spotify or teaming up with different media outlets. So what is kind of like I guess releasing music, whether it's a single or an album, like what are the kind of the barriers right now that are blocking you?
The barriers that are blocking me. Yeah, I mean, I'm not on any major playlists. I don't get playlisted for shit. I'm not obviously not on the radio. I don't.
That's crazy,
do any
man.
like. Yeah, no, but I mean, to me, it's like, yo, damn it, I'm doing what I'm doing. That means it's got to be great. You know what I mean? But there's, like I said, there's a lot of stuff I'm not on. I try not to think about it too much. I like to focus on what I do have, which is a great, family of fans. I hate the word fams, who help me promote it. But yeah, a lot of barriers that are definitely like, in the way. But it's dope, man. I low-key forgot the question, but
no, it's all good. You answered it. Yeah, I was just basically asking, like, I guess being independent and competing with.
I'm going through things in my head, and I'm just like, I'm like surveying things I want to say and not say, But no, yeah, man. There's barriers. There's definitely, there's an upper hand, but
yeah,
I think eventually, it'll be good. I'll find a good situation. Hopefully, people that want to, see the vision. And once I'm able to tap into those things, I'll be able to bring a self-built thing that's already a monster, and take it to the next level and just impact more people. So,
yeah, definitely, man. We're all rooting for you. I can see you, getting to that level this year, because it's just like it's about that time, man. We need some, like. Just we need you to move up.
It's exciting stuff, It's really just it's hard sometimes, like when what you do isn't attributed to anything but your own self-belief and greatness. Sometimes it's harder to push it through, because there's no one telling people like, yo, Dax is dope who's already done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's another year. So it's just continuously to push, like, and believe, work, grind. But in terms of me, I got some heat coming, man. It's like There's a lot. So I got stuff for ages. That's not the problem. It's just continuing to market it, build the family and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah, man, and yeah, looking forward to that. You're definitely killing it. And there's that uh, statistic now. I think like 1 million songs are posted on Spotify every day around the world, which is insane. So you're doing really good already, man. Like with all that. Um, but yeah, man. Well, thanks so much for joining me on this podcast, everyone. This is Dax. Go check out all his links below in the channel here. Give him a follow. Give him a shout out. Stream his new shit, old shit, whatever you can. And then when he comes on tour, definitely go see him wherever city he's gonna go play in. So yeah, man, thanks for joining me on this.
I appreciate you, man. Stats.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, we'll speak next time, man. You take care.